Hello and welcome back to LiveCTF. I'm Josh, aka Negasora, coming back for another cast back to back, and I'm joined by
Gamozo. Hello, it's good to be here. I'm super excited to be doing this live. Last year I did this, I think, over Discord with like a 60-second delay, and that made it a little awkward because I was commentating on things that had happened in the past.
Yeah,
so
the late CTF doesn't really have the same ring to it.
No, it definitely doesn't. So I'm super excited for this. So who do we got going up here? We've got Straw Hat versus orgakraut.
It's organizers and sour cloud, maybe?
Okay, all right.
They're a merger team.
Making a big team.
They both are.
Because they got rid of team size caps or something recently at DEF CON?
Oh, I don't know actually.
Because I remember like everyone started joining and making these like bigger and bigger teams, which is just kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Shellfish, I don't know if they've ever had a real cap because Shellfish has had hundreds of people, it feels like.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. All right. Well, I think everyone's ready, right?
Yeah. You want to go over and give it a countdown?
Ooh, a 5 or a 3?
Let's give it a 5.
We'll give it a 5?
Yeah, really ramp it up.
All right, let's get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
All right, let's see what we got.
So we're first over at orgakraut. They are downloading the challenge. Classic first step.
Okay, ooh, I like this. We've got the anime background here, which I love to see. Does anyone know this character? I guess not character, this anime. Ooh, right into Ida. No binary ninja here.
No Binja. We haven't seen Binja. We haven't seen Ghidra.
Okay.
Only Ida so far.
I'm gonna pull up YouTube chat right now, so.
Yeah, that's a great.
That way I can interact with people and see what they're saying. Let's see.
What are you, Pwn Tools?
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. So immediately, kind of going into here, I've got Straw Hat right in front of me here.
Yeah.
And
so let's see.
Oh, interesting. It has an Ubuntu VM setup. It seems like everyone seems to like MacBooks. Is that like a common thing?
It's pretty common. I'm one of the holdouts for the Linux laptop. And honestly, it's saving this broadcast because the info's running on it now.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Let me see. I'm grabbing the YouTube link.
All right. So they're going into IDA and they immediately go into docs. POSIX Open PT.
It's interesting. I definitely find myself opening the man pages in a browser way more than I probably should when I'm on a system that has man pages in the terminal.
Absolutely.
But
I don't know why, it just feels nicer.
Checksec. What is that?
Checksec. So it prints common protections.
Okay.
So Pi,
I see.
Relro,
I see.
NX.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. The command line one used to have a really bad bug where it would report incorrect values.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's very useless.
So it was useless. It was just actually harmful sometimes. But then I think that's been fixed because it matches up with my GDB output every time.
Yeah. All right, I have the chat up now.
Very nice. You want to put it somewhere?
Sure.
Here in the middle.
Put it right in the center.
My eyesight isn't that good.
Yeah.
The glasses are deceiving.
All right, so TTY iOctal. All right, I haven't looked much at the challenge. I was too busy on my phone.
Yeah, so the name of the challenge is iOctal or IO Control, maybe.
Ooh.
It is from a series of challenges from Glenn.
Okay.
Who's notorious for cursed challenges. In the past, there have been torque engine challenges. There have been, rock with weird instructions only. With, Nopme maybe was one where it's like you have to use, jump into the middle of Nops.
Yeah, let's check in on orgakraut. What are they up to right now?
Yeah, orgakraut.
It looks like
Stack
Overflow, which is never a great
Superman
sign.
page.
Yeah. Let's see. I did see that ChatGPT was open on the Straw Hat side. Yeah, it's the very first tab. So we might see some AI going on.
Honestly, in the hierarchy, I'd put man page, Stack Overflow, ChatGPT. But obviously, it's upside down, so ChatGPT is the move.
Now, let's see. I think we're both on the same website. We're both looking at man7.org. So it just seems like this is the way to do man pages on Mac OS. I guess, does Mac OS not have man pages? Is that not a thing?
No, it has man pages, but this is a very Linux-specific challenge.
Okay.
So I don't know if they transfer over. I don't know if the options are different.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
Like, we're going to be learning this challenge with y'all, with them.
Yep.
We didn't write this. We haven't looked at it.
No, we're basically solving this at the same time. Interesting. Just a lot of Googling right now.
It's only I'm curious if the challenge is just a simple like ioctl call and you need to get the args right or something. We haven't seen anyone really keep a disassembler decompiler open for more than 2 seconds.
Straw Hat is typing out Python. We do have our
Straw Hat is
first.
typing Python.
We have from Pwn import star. So we're getting ready to just get everything going.
They need.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I'm always really afraid to import star. I'm always afraid that's just going to make a mess of.
It's super frowned
Do you
on.
call it a namespace in Python? Is that the correct
It's
term?
a module.
A module?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing is namespace Python. It's only global.
Everything's global.
Yeah.
The locks are global.
Oh
you get, you know.
Not for long. There's that.
I saw that.
Almost a PR that removes the GIL.
Is that going to be like when, what was it, OpenBSD removed their global lock? Every time you made a syscall, there'd be a global lock, and they removed that and immediately erased conditions on like every single syscall.
No, what?
Yep.
You're telling me the processes are hard?
It's very difficult, especially when you have an OS designed for single-threaded stuff.
What would you know about highly parallel processing?
Interesting. So we're really just deep. Both are just in the deep man pages.
I think they're on the same page right now. Straw Hat over there reading something very closely.
Yeah.
And actually, orgakraut over here. Okay, well, as I say it, orgakraut creating a C script to try and figure out what ioctl does.
Oh yeah. Okay. So gotta launching the process, going interactive, and I think that's something we see a lot when we're doing CTF stuff. People love dropping into that interactive prompt so they can just start banging out things, trying out stuff. And let's see, do we have the first challenge running here?
That's one of the big differences in approaches we saw last challenge even, was one team went completely static and
Really?
labeled so many things before even interacting with the one team.
No
the
way.
other team was in GDB, breaking on every option.
Yep.
And they were really close to one another.
The receive until main is. Okay.
Not using read until wrapper.
Oh, I see. Is this an info disclosure just right on the command line? It just tells you where main is and where argc is?
Yeah, it is.
That's great. Why don't my Chrome exploits tell me that? That would be really convenient.
Because Chrome lost track of it too. It has so much memory to keep track of.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's true.
What do you want is the question here.
It's
we can maybe read some. Okay.
Oh, no. Code's gone again. Code's gone again. Jeez. All right, and then over here, what are we writing?
Over here at orgakraut.
Orgakraut.
They are X-addering.
This is a really fancy
they're
terminal.
using Pwn template.
Pwn template.
It kind of creates a little working directory for you with like Pwn tools and pipenv, and it makes like a Pwn tool skeleton and stuff like that. I personally don't use it, but the last time I looked at it, it was kind of simple.
Is that an emoji on that terminal there?
Yeah, they have a snake emoji and a little steering wheel for like in Docker maybe, like the ship wheel.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty fair. So here we're just basically parsing out all of the printouts that you're getting, and it hasn't been much reading of code, which is interesting. No. That's honestly the approach that I normally go for, is just banging out immediately going into dynamic stuff.
Yeah. From what I saw there for a second, it looks like you just get an ioctl call with args that you specify.
Yeah. Which would be pretty slick, but I don't know what sort of things you can do. Is it on a TTY? I didn't actually see what files being opened. We're switching between these screens so fast. Too many arguments. Okay. Ooh, so it looks like
variable art.
Yeah, I think you get to pick. So I think I saw like a 0 arg where you have the ioctl number, and then looks like 2, 3, and 4, and it will prompt you, I guess, for the ioctl code. So that's interesting. We're actually writing a function here to properly do these ioctls, which is pretty fancy.
Yeah, does it allocate a VTTY? What?
I didn't actually see what it opened. I've only seen it for like a split second.
Yeah, can I get a nod or a head shake?
A PTY, okay.
Okay, we get a PTY.
Is it dev PTY?
Dev PTY 3.
PTY 3, okay. Now, my favorite thing is PTMX, which I think is what basically everyone uses when they're doing their basic Linux exploits. For some reason, I can't remember what it was about the shape of that like data structure that it allocates. It's just very convenient for using in your exploits and overriding the like dispatch handles. Maybe it's just because it's really easy to get access to. On like Android, I think it has no permissions required.
I haven't done Android exploitation. So.
This is so fancy. Look at this.
Right? It's
This
really
is-
colorful. I like it.
I'm really impressed that we're seeing a function.
Oh, here we go. Orgakraut, scrolling through IDA, we see the
Okay.
POSIX Open PT.
There we go.
258. Unknown what enum value that is.
Huh.
Okay, info leak, and then
Oh,
it just
it looks like we're
going
gonna
to
get that man page for this.
Ooh.
Compromised password, that's not a good sign. They better get that fixed.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
It prints that when you start the challenge.
All right, so it looks like you give it, some flags. Okay, so it's probably, I'm guessing it's gonna be like read write or something like
Yeah.
that. PTY
I'm wondering if you
ioctal.
can maybe like corrupt a value in that struct.
Yeah,
PTY
that's
struct.
kind of interesting. I'm trying to think if like,
Look at the ads on this page.
oh, this is great.
We
That's
found
everything.
the CTF player that doesn't run ad blocker.
Yeah, well, how does that work? It's just,
I don't know, they just scrolled in really menacingly.
I mean, I guess maybe.
This docstore.mic.ua.
What is this? Are we just like
We're on
reading
all
a
the
book
doc
on
sites.
how ioctals work?
I guess so.
That's pretty good.
We're
Maybe-
gonna walk away from this with so much knowledge.
I like Straw Hat. Straw Hat's doing exactly the approach that I would do, which is going into user include, grepping for the
Yeah.
thing, trying to find exactly how these are made. And this is literally exactly how I do it. Anytime I want to figure out what does that code actually turn into,
Yeah.
is this. And the reason that's so complex is those IO codes are all like macro based. So I think that's an IO. It's an IOW, so the fact that it's a write ioctal, the T is like the special code that they're going to use, probably stands for TTY in this case, and then it also has an int, which is the arg, and in that macro it's going to use size of, and it like, basically the IO control code has like the T in there, which is like a magic identifier, some flags about if it's read, write, or whatever, and then the size of the args, and I forget what the 31 hex is. That's kind of interesting. Oh, and here we have a standard printf where you're just going for the %X. I
So-
think we're just ignoring that warning
He's
now.
working in an isolated environment, just trying to figure out what it does. What does it transform? What can I touch? You know, he obviously knows all the addresses that were leaked
Right.
in his own code.
Right.
So it's essentially he's rewriting the challenge to try and figure out what it can do.
Context log level debug, do you know what that does?
Yeah, Pwn Tools that prints like every transmit, every receive, the sizes of things.
Okay, do you get like a hex printout when they run? Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we have to find some way to do corruption on our own process using just these
Some
like
ioctal
TTY octal codes.
Yeah.
And I think, I could be really wrong on this, I think ioctals are hierarchical, where like you can have some generic like TTY ones, but then beyond that you can have pseudo TTY ones, and they kind of like build on top of each other. Because I think a pseudo TTY like inherits TTY. I could be very wrong about that.
I have no idea. That's more than I knew about.
It's been a long time since I've read advanced programming in the Unix environment, that's for sure.
I think no, I never did. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is kind of fun. I really do like this as a challenge. Looking for, get it. There's a getter for the window size, a setter for the window size. And it looks like, if you called that getter, it's gonna probably fill out that structure where you get rows, columns, X pixels and Y pixels. And, you know, it'd be kind of cool if we could see someone go after that, maybe use some weird X command to like force the terminal to some weird size and then write some shellcode with the window size.
I'm wondering if PTYs have a maximum size in there that
I have no
isn't
idea.
checked.
Like, can you just have it go way off the screen, or you know?
I assume you can.
I'm sure there's a better way to get like arbitrary outputs.
Oh yeah.
TIO. I don't know if we're limited to the IO control code that we have. And let's check in on orgakraut. Let's see what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So orgakraut going through. They're going to try every ioctal. They're going to run this thing with every ioctal.
Now that's what we call fuzzing here.
That
That is an
is
advanced
fuzzing.
security technique, and that's a really good way to find bugs. So I think this is an interesting approach. Now we have, it looks like no functions here. We're doing a wow. So I guess we're just gonna blast ioctals
we're gonna go through everything.
until we get a result. Now
I really hope they don't run out of FDs.
I will say, from Python, it's going to be really hard to enumerate all 4 billion combinations. And the IO control codes are pretty well spaced because some of those like read-write flags are spaced in just weird ways. So I've done this before. I've brute forced IO control codes, but if you really want to do that, the best way to do it is to enumerate, like understand basically how the control code is packed, and then like do reasonable numbers. Like I think the size might be the bottom 16 bits, and none of these are gonna really reasonably take more than like a 64-byte structure, so you could really reduce the state space that you have to search. That's just gonna be a lot of iterations.
I don't know if he has time to write that.
That's true, that's true, unless you just have that sitting around. And yeah, we do have control of the ioctal number. I don't think there's any filter. I think this is purely, it looks like you just have an ARB number and ARB args on a PTY, and you just have to, and you just have to find a way to make that work. And I think that's probably not going to be too bad. It looks like, we're naming stuff over here on Straw Hat. We're actually doing some IDA stuff. Yeah, like actual reversing, which is kind of interesting. I mean, honestly, I'd say this is pretty readable. Like that shows me basically everything I need to know.
When 70% of your output is strings, I think I know what's going on.
Yeah. So that's cool. So you just, it looks like you get the hexadecimal of where main is, where the stack is located, and now you're just gonna, is that get window size? Oh, there we go. He just ran that, and I think that's...
he just screws window to the right.
Yeah.
That's why he's running in poor man's T-modes. So he can see the window changes.
Yeah, so he has gotten the IO control codes for set and get window size. And honestly, that makes sense, because you could just set the window size first using that, what was it, 4 ints or 4 shorts or something like that, and then just call get, and you'll just get the result at a different address. So I feel like that's a pretty good approach. Now, that does take a pointer to a structure, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it takes multiple args. So like how would you how would you set the pointer to that structure that has the size of that TTY?
Well, you have the stack offset, and they allocate it right before, so I'd assume it's on top of the stack.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you're right there. Do you have any good place on the stack where you can stash this?
They don't have any leak beyond that, though.
Right.
Like you can't read stack memory. Like outside of obviously the struct, because you know where it is, you have things to interact with it. So I'm curious to see where this goes.
This is really tough, because you have to kind of make the decision early on when you're doing these CTFs. It's like, should we commit to this, like getting and setting the window size? Obviously, if we can put a pointer to control data, then we can change out we can set the window size, put a pointer to other data, and now we have just overwritten something with controlled data.
I'm curious if the input, if input is done on the stack, you can push it down, maybe ioctal pointer to the stack, or is the pointer just set it there? Does it operate on top of the stack?
I don't actually know what that stack printout is. We print out at the very top.
Oh, so it just makes FD.
It's argca, which I don't know where that variable is on the stack.
If it just takes an FD, can't you FD standard in and make like a fake and ioctal struct via standard input?
I don't think you have control of the FD. For the ioctals?
Yeah, doesn't it ask you what FD you want?
I think it's only the...
I'm getting a thumbs up from the author.
It asks for the FD?
I'm on the right track.
Okay, all right. I see. Okay. Every single parameter is controlled. Nice.
Cool. Okay, so you do get the FD. So, yeah, I mean, Parliament of Ducks just got it on the other stream. Wow, that was fast.
That was quite fast. I'm curious what approach they did.
I'm thinking what it is you take FD0, you have standard in control, it operates on standard input ioctals, you send EOF after your fake struct via standard input, and maybe there are function pointers in there? I'm not really sure about the next part.
Do you have only ioctal?
It's one ioctal call, it looks like.
One ioctal call, okay. Let's see.
Yeah. Let's go back over to orgakraut. They've been in IDA too.
Okay. And they're using the dark scheme in IDA, which is interesting.
Thank you.
Every time I use the dark scheme in IDA, I kind of regret it, because some things just don't look right, or the colors are off, or the highlighting's weird. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's gotten better or what. But I remember like a couple times, like you'd pop up a window, like just some weird, listing of, functions or something like that, and it would just be white, or it would not match the color scheme, and that would always just bleach your eyes.
Oh,
So-
it's painful. I cannot light theme. We have a couple of people in the office that light.
Yeah.
I can't. No.
I know it's better to read. I know it's like technically supposed to be better for your eyes and like your ability to like read the text, but I'm not convinced. I'm
I'll
a
take the
dark
extra
theme.
second for comfort.
Yeah. So what do we have over here? Is it still?
Okay.
Are we still doing the brute force of all the ioctals?
It looks like they have that in there, but they're working above it. So I wonder if they thought of another approach they want to try first.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Oh, they got it for a second. Oh no, they're just trying to figure out how to run it. Looks like.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is tough. Yeah. Okay. You have 4 different ioctals, so you can do 0 arg, 1 arg, 2 arg, or 3 arg, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really tough. Like, do you want to commit to doing the window size approach? Because obviously, I'm sure that's Turing complete. You can probably get your arbitrary corruption with that. But is that the best ioctal? Is that the easiest ioctal, or is there an easier one?
All of the octals are the best octal if they get you there.
Right, exactly.
Like this is a solve it first challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not trying to get undetected. You're not trying to get minimal size.
Over here on Straw Hat, it looks like we're looking at a Stack Overflow on the responsibilities of each pseudo-terminal PTY component. And look at that, we had a diagram up there?
What?
That we are like, I think we're like
We're in the weeds.
learning how just PTYs work on Linux.
We're
which-
learning how to control I/O.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Okay, we're getting more and more different C printouts here of basically what these IO control codes are, so we can go test them out,
I
see
do
how
like
they
that
go.
every time we come over here, their window is a little bit larger.
Yeah, yeah. Look at this.
Oh my-
Oracle
Oracle.
Streams Programming Guide.
When you end up on an Oracle page, you know you're in.
Yeah, like whenever I end up on Oracle, I'm getting out immediately.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that, a struct.pack. Is this just the exploit right here?
No way.
Well, it's not, because that needs to be a pointer. That is the right structure. It is 4 shorts. But you will need to put 4 shorts somewhere in memory, know the address of it, and then give that address.
That's a lot of args too.
Right. And I haven't seen IDA enough to get the stack layout yet. So I
get a
don't
frame
know
of IDA every now and then.
because we know the stack address, we know where main is, and it's like, where can we store some things that are controlled over the network or something that we can end up writing out somewhere in memory, or I guess storing in the kernel first, then writing out to memory with a GET request.
It looks like you can do multiple output calls.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
it does
just
look like a loop.
another.
Yeah, which I think should make this quite easy. There's,
Yeah.
I think many of these, because a lot of these outputs are getters and setters, so you're just,
Yeah. You transform that struct on the stack. You
Right.
have known data, known address.
right, exactly, yeah. Interesting.
Okay, so they're walking through. They have lots of negative ones.
Huh,
Looks like they're just making invalid calls right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's check in on orgakraut, see what they're doing.
Orgakraut, they are making, it looks like an array of interesting ioctals.
Okay.
That they want to, or
Yep.
it might be that they're making a ioctal chain. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ioctalop.
Huh. This is going to be very
This
interesting.
is really interesting because
Have we
don't
have
know
we
if
gotten
they're
a
on the right
crash
track.
yet?
Have we
Ooh,
gotten no.
there's the stack. Okay, FD
Oh,
number of args, and then I think 4 args. I think I got all those.
You're fast.
Yep.
Oh, FT number of args. Yeah.
Yeah.
Args.
So you should know where those args are. So if you were
Yep.
to just shoot, I don't know if it's okay if you have invalid ioctal. I imagine it will just
It
silently
is.
ignore
Goes
it and
through
just
again.
go through
We
again.
saw that on Straw Hat. They were getting lots of negative 1 returns.
So I think what I would do is I would use like the 3 or the 4 arg version, because I think they're 64-bit ints. I don't know what they're doing for A2I or whatever. That might limit the space of the ints. But you should be able to do 1 pass through using the full things. Who cares about the ioctal? Just let it fail. That will set up the args on the stack. and now you can come through and put a pointer to that, and now you have control data that you can write to some data you point to. Although you do have to dodge, you might have to put them further up the arg stack, because you need
if you use
the
one
first
that uses more
args.
arguments first, then you can go back and just clobber the bottom one.
Exactly, yeah. And that's, I think, the approach that I would take, but once again, I haven't seen much of the
also,
IDA
again,
here.
You have args in known places.
Right.
Now what?
Right, yeah. So, I don't know, I think just a setter, put it in the kernel temporarily, and then get it back out into...
I'm sticking true to my standard input.
Yeah.
Standard
input.
Yeah. I'm sticking true to FD0, reading from FD0 for the ioctal.
But do you have access to a read? Can you do a read through an ioctal?
Oh, well, no, because it just asks for an FD. It doesn't check if, no. Because the FD's on the PTY.
Yeah, but you only have the ioctal syscall, so how would you get that to do a read? Like, is there a way to cause a read from standard in or whatever through an ioctal? Or am I misunderstanding?
Well, I wonder if it's, can you buffer standard input maybe? Send the ioctal to FD0. It doesn't prompt for input, but it reads the buffer data. Like, you can buffer it in the choice input.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, okay, and looks like we're adding more libraries here.
Adding more?
Oh, you know what? We just got file control, which I think we're going to literally write the example out so we can try out how does this actually work. Like, assuming we have full control, what kind of FD number are we going to get? Now, that's going to be FD3, of course, because 0, 1, and 2 are allocated to your standard ins and outs. And so he's going to print out a 3.
He doesn't have a helper in this terminal. They'll shove his FDs further down.
Yeah.
Like, it automatically allocates more.
And then, okay, we're getting these values. Yep, and this makes sense. You're going to get, we're going to pass a ref. So we're going to actually get the window size here. And this is really interesting. So it's kind of dangerous, in my opinion, to keep going in and out of Vim. Like, I'd probably pull Vim up on another window because you're going to lose your history or your undo buffer here. And if you end up making a mistake, really?
Use an undo directory.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Vim 8 added that or whatever? I think I just disabled that immediately.
Oh,
so.
that's so nice.
But it adds a bunch of temporary files, and I hate that.
Put it in your user directory, or put it in something and cleaned up.
So much work. And,
oh my God, so much work. I've seen what you do on stream.
I keep my environment pretty default here.
Yeah, oh yeah. But it looks like these guys are using what works for them.
Yeah.
That happens to be 4 terminals kind of splayed out, and man7.com.
Yeah.
.org.
Man7.org, I guess. Which you would think Ubuntu would have the Linux man pages.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, it has all of them.
Yeah, that's like...
Well, all of them for what you have, obviously.
So, that's kind of interesting. Chat, what do you say? Do you normally use in-terminal man pages, or do you end up on like a die.org or I guess man7.org? I guess that's what the cool kids use these days.
It's just the first one that comes up because it has man in the domain, I guess.
Yeah. SEO. Huh. That's pretty wild. I feel like we're kind of looking at the same thing. We're really committing to this getting and setting the window size.
Oh my gosh. And we're actually far enough in that the first hint has been released.
Okay. And we haven't seen what that hint is, have we?
We have.
Has anyone pulled up that hint?
They might need to be hinted at that there's a hint. If we're 20 minutes in.
Okay.
Okay.
Huh. I don't know. I think these approaches are pretty good. Ooh, and now we're doing strace. So now we're...
So orgakraut.
Yeah, so orgakraut has IDA open, and that was interesting in the non-pseudocode view. But yeah, it's literally just while read int, do another. Yeah, you say 0 or 1 if you want to read another. So you have an arbitrary amount of arbitrary ioctals, arbitrary FD, arbitrary IO control code, arbitrary args.
So it is actually ioctal-oriented programming.
Yeah. I think that's a great challenge. I don't think I've seen that before. It's just, it's brilliant.
That's Glenn's challenges, is he just comes up with weird ideas and makes them.
Yeah.
But they end up being really cool.
Huh. I like that. The other thing I was thinking about, which would be a fun challenge, is the, what's this syscall that always has bugs? It handles the locks and stuff on Linux, the super fast locks. Why am I blanking on it? Was it GeoHot's bug, like way back in the day, was on this call?
Sure.
Oh, geez. Oh, I forget what it is.
This is outside of my scope of knowledge. I'm not a historian.
Oh, it's like the fundamental way that you do like fast locks on Linux, where they're like you give it memory addresses and it will like alert you when they've changed, so you can come back and like try your atomic spin lock. But that whole API is like, I think Turing complete in the kernel.
Really?
Like I'm pretty sure you could just give it straight up invalid addresses because it won't crash your program because the kernel will fail to access it. So that would allow you to just like try random things, or if you don't know an ASLR location, you probably could just jam things
really
in there.
nice.
And I think you can tell the kernel to like increment or decrement a value at an address, which is fantastic.
So you can do address-based brute forcing in the kernel.
Yes.
I've
wanted to see that. I've wanted to see that in exploits. I've wanted to see it in just so many things. I think it's a really cool way of doing it. Futex, yes, Futex, exactly.
Futex.
Because Futex has a bunch of different operating modes.
Is it really buggy? I didn't know that.
Well, that's not even like the bug. It used to be pretty buggy. Like that, there was one really big Futex bug, and I think it was like a GeoHot bug way back in the day. But it's just a really complex, immediately there's an enum of a bunch of different modes that you can hit in that. So, and this kind of reminds me of that same thing.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that would apply here. If you gave ioctl an invalid address, the kernel's gonna report back bad adder.
Yeah.
It's not gonna crash your program.
Yeah.
So if you need to make a couple of guesses, in this case, I don't know why you would. You have the addresses you care about.
Leak, maybe?
But we're in read int. We're seeing what we get. It looks like an LX was the read int command, which means that you will get the full 64 bits.
That's interesting. The return code is 32.
On Straw Hat, they're adding hex to everything. I think they weren't using hex. And explicitly, it's pulling it in as hex. And that really hurts.
This might be a bit of a breakthrough for them.
That, I think that is a pretty big breakthrough.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Just goes to show no one knows how this works.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's really tough. That's the sort of thing that you get stuck on for a while. I think that's why he went into GCC to like try it out, and then it probably worked in GCC, and he's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
You can see like trying to do 4.1s. He got bad adder from the ioctl, and that makes sense. That totally makes sense. So it looks like we're probably on a pretty fast path now. I think Straw Hat should have a pretty direct route. You know where your arcs are. You know what you control on the stack. I mean, that IDA output is fantastic.
They have that going now. It's going to be smooth for them, whatever they want to do.
For sure. What do we got going on orgakraut over here?
Orgakraut is looking at PTY docs. Okay,
I feel like we've almost had time to read through all of these docs by this point.
I feel like if you just take screenshots of every frame, you could see every ioctl doc.
Right.
Like you could have the full thing there.
Yeah.
Forget man7.org. Just pull up LiveCTF.
Right. This is wild. Oh, I think this is the
TC send break. Okay, so he's just ringing through the TC send break.
Does that get you a write? Because I imagine you're going to need an arbitrary write.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of going to need some sort of a getter. I do like the window size because you have a setter and a getter. You can store stuff off. You can pick it and then write it to another place. I mean, basically it's memcopy, but through the kernel.
Is the argument for that UN16?
For the ioctl?
Yeah.
No, so all the arguments will be long. So they'll be 64-bit, and so it'll just be one arg, which is a pointer to a structure, and the structure is just 4 shorts that are packed in memory. I don't know what the shorts are. I think it's some pixel and column and size of the terminal sort of thing. But it looks like that's what we're committing to on Straw Hat. And orgakraut, I think, is still trying to decide what ioctl they want to use.
They were reading the same exact thing, actually.
Huh.
They're thinking about the same approach.
Wow, and you get the ioctl return, so you could potentially use that if you needed to figure out some information from the kernel. I don't think that's necessary here. I think you can do this cleanly. I don't think you need anything to fail.
You can use it to verify that your arb write worked.
Which is great.
Yeah.
That it is great to have an oracle that stuff is going
But
well.
it does only return you in 32.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I guess in 32 is the return code.
Right. Huh. Yeah, we'll see what we're gonna get here. Okay, we're doing some math. So we're subtracting main from the main of the relocated thing. This is gonna give us basically the slide, or whatever this like actual ASLR offset. And that's good information to have. I guess you'll need that because.
Is there a win function maybe they're calculating?
I don't know if there's a win function. I don't know if they're just gonna go right to like a system
if they're writing like
call.
ESS or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Read 8. Okay, making
Read
just a
8.
clean function for read 8.
Okay.
ioctl 3 21,523. No hex there, which is
Wow.
interesting. Okay, and then we're passing in those args, and I think. Now we're going for a straight read and write primitive. I don't know if these values are controlled yet. Yeah, this is just triggering the read to an address, triggering the write to an address. And yeah, I guess it is an 8-byte read and write because it's a 4 shorts. So 4 times 2 is your 8. So.
But that read isn't. Oh no, well, yeah.
It's just the address.
Because it'll just return success. That's right.
Yep. So it's really going to come down to what.
Strahead is getting their read and write primitives.
Yeah.
Ooh, over on orgakraut.
Okay.
We had some math for a second there, but it looks like they're going for an offset from arg2.
Okay.
Unknown.
I think that is kind of similar to what I was thinking because I think read int, I think that's getting a 64-bit hexadecimal value.
Yeah.
So if you want to go the approach where you are reading and writing an arbitrary 8, I think you have to use the higher args, come back around, you need to use the low arg1 so that you have the address, and then you can't clobber the other things. But that should be totally fine. I think that approach would just work.
Let's see.
AW8.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
I saw set win
Set
and I got
win.
excited.
Okay. Set win.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, they're
and
throwing
here
some
we go.
A's in there.
We're gonna try and use address A's, get
getter
and
and setter.
set window, and so now it looks
For
like we have the
arg
same
setter.
approaches on both.
Oh, it's gonna be a real close race.
Yes. Huh.
Okay.
Now it's starting to get more to like a mechanical thing of like how fast can you write the code to do the right thing, get that feedback. Because I think both of them are clearly aware of the path that they're going to take. And I agree, it's a winning path here.
Yeah. It looks like they got a write of 4 bytes.
Yep. There's that window size.
Yeah.
So that's the actual structure that they're going to be able to control.
Nice.
And I do think they're going to need to rely on the uninitialized memory, right?
Okay.
32. I don't think that's a 32
He got
bit
a
right.
32-bit right.
From what? Do you know what?
From this? I didn't see exactly what happened,
Yeah,
but he
I
only
didn't see
had
that
4
either.
A's on there.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
That'll be really interesting to see.
It might be because he's doing offset from argc to arg2.
Adder, set win.
Global ioctals.
I don't think that's how that ioctal works. Oh, that makes sense. He's doing both in one syscall.
Yeah.
Because it'll just ignore that second argument. So you can just put your value in there, put the address to that, so you don't have to come back around. That totally makes sense. So that'll just work.
Wow, I'm surprised it doesn't fail on invalid argument numbers.
I won't care. It won't know. It doesn't know until it gets into the kernel and does the switch statement.
I guess it has to be fast.
Yeah,
why would it do arg checking?
Well, yeah, why would you do that?
Yeah.
That's a perfloss, and Linux is fast. So this, I'm pretty sure orgakraut's on a very, very, very good
they're
path
on
here.
a laser path.
Do they have the address computed? Do they know the offset of arg2? But it's exactly what they have to do.
They have the address of arg2. They calculate argc minus arg24.
Then they're basically like right there.
Yeah.
That's looking pretty good.
Let's check in on Straw Hat
Straw Hat. Okay. They're still doing this invalid ioctal. Oh, you know what? That's what I was talking about. They're doing an invalid ioctal. They're putting the value deeper on the stack.
Okay.
They'll come back around and then they're going to do their writes. So That's interesting. I like orgakrauts more, even though Straw Hat is doing it the way that I initially thought of.
I feel like orgakrauts is a little restrictive.
I think it's cleaner. I think it's cleaner because it's guaranteed it's one pass.
That's
you don't
true.
have to do an invalid ioctal, which is nice. It's just a little quieter for, you don't want the IDS to figure out your exploit here. So you want to keep the errors to a minimum. You want to have a nice, clean
LiveCTF
environment.
IDS, I
Yes,
forgot about that.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it looks like we're trying to figure out AW8. Right 8? AW8? Address right 8?
Yeah, maybe.
Address right 8.
Arb right, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And they're going to be using arg4, which makes sense here because they're doing the 4 arg ioctal.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're doing some math in it.
Oh, hang on. Over on orgakraut, we're calculating the base address to...
Okay. What function was that?
Is
Something.
he trying to pivot to the scanf for like a cleaner arb right?
God, I don't know. I feel like this arb right's about as clean as you can
Yeah,
get.
really. Pass in numbers, it puts numbers. I'm happy with this.
Have we seen a crash yet? We've had the debugger
think
open,
we
but I
have.
think a debugger
No.
has only been
It's only been Control-C.
yeah. So I'm excited to see our first crash.
Oh, we have a ROP going.
we
Wait.
rock.
It looks like he's writing red. It looks like he has arb right on top of the stack.
Okay.
And he's overwriting the puts. Does it have railroad though? Is he writing?
You will be able to skip over the cookie, which is very nice for this.
Oh, yeah.
For this primitive.
No, just being able to poke wherever you want immediately.
Oh yeah, it's just the beautiful, beautiful primitive.
Yeah, but it looks like I don't know if this binary has railroad, or full, partial, whatever.
Yeah.
But he wants to jump to puts unless he's just going to use puts as a lead.
Interesting.
Because I assume he's going for like a god override.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh. I'm gonna have to close chat. I'm running out of battery right now on my phone. All right.
Red adder equals red adder. Oh, I'm making progress here.
Yeah.
Straw hat.
Now it's really a matter of what approach are you gonna pick to land or get your executioner or leak the flag. I think all of these you're supposed to run a command to win. You run a
you
shell
run
command.
you get a shell, you run the submitter, and
Okay.
a little happy message pops up.
Interesting. So I don't know what puts is gonna be
Ooh,
for. What
it
was added
looks
here?
like orgakraut is about to check if they crash on invalid access to 414141.
Okay.
And it looks like
Wait.
they're just gonna send their option.
Wait a minute. Are we back to brute forcing?
No, he wrote our option for this.
Well, then why are we working on the brute force loop enumerate all the ioctal thing?
I think he's just.
Oh,
he
that's
made
where
a
his
list of
code was.
ioctal, Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so now he's got to switch back over IC.
Yeah, required argument not an integer. Usually numbers are good.
Now,
All right, so he's going to be debugging that for. Oh, there we go. U64. Hang on. Oh,
and what did we get?
where's RIP?
Are we in puts?
We're in puts.
We're in puts.
We're red on puts. Red is.
And we got a 6-7.
Wow.
So yeah, it
Yeah,
looks
top
like
of the stack is A. He's reading to 4-1.
yeah. That's looking pretty good. So
That's
it's,
looking really good. He's
it's-
close.
let's check in on Straw Hat. Let's see where we're at.
I'll keep an eye on
We
him.
should have an arbitrary right here. I think we're gonna probably see that crash. I don't know if he's gonna try and write maybe over that return address and just see what happens. You also have the arb read, which is just quite nice
Yeah,
to
which is
have.
nice.
I don't know if you really need to use that.
I mean, you have binary base. You could just read it from PLT and be like, oh, I'll just appear.
Yeah. Yeah, have any of them looked for a win function yet?
I don't think there is a win function yet.
Okay, no win function?
Yeah, I imagine if there was a win function, instead of A's, he'd just put that.
Yeah, exactly. Like that,
Yeah.
you would just be done at this
Yeah.
point. So, I mean, there could be a win function I haven't
Maybe.
looked yet, and that
I have no
that
idea.
would be rough.
Oh, could
You
you
know?
imagine missing that?
So,
Well, we've been in this one function, yeah.
huh? Yeah.
Okay, so orgakraut running their script again.
Okay.
They have printout of, is that libc? 7FOE. That doesn't look like stack address. That looks like
received
the libc
7
lead.
hex bytes. Yeah.
Either libc or LD, I don't know which. unmapped address 0, context failed. So they're
gadgets?
actually hamstrung by their Jeff installation. They just had a Python like int access error.
Oh no. Oh no.
So I really hope it doesn't come down to that, because they are close. They got a libc leak. They have the libc. They can calculate offset to execve and just pass whatever they want.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, they're calculating the leak right now, or unpacking it.
Yep. U64. What does that do? Is that just parses it?
64. It takes bytes and turns them into reverses them.
Oh, so you don't have to do struct.unpack every time. Oh, that's quite nice.
Yeah. Oh,
hey, we got a SIG7 at PC of 414141 on Straw Hat.
This is really close.
So now we got that going.
Straw
so this
Hat
is
just
good.
got 4141, but orgakraut is calculating offset to execve.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
That's tough. It really comes down to how quickly can you go from that. What is this? All the gadgets. Straw Hat's about to pull up. I thought they were going to pull up all the gadgets function. I was very curious what that was, because what if that is a win function or something like that? Because that function has not been needed for anything else yet. It's clearly in there, like, intentionally.
Oh yeah.
We're looking for the GOT here, and we've got ioctl in there. So we're actually going to try and use the address of the ioctl entry in the GOT.
Oh, so they don't have to call a different function. They just loop back around and it's there for you. Okay, that's kind of nice.
So we'll see.
Oh, hang on.
Okay.
Orgakraut, I see rop.call libc.symbol system. This is
that going to work out of the box?
Yeah, I mean, they set the base address of libc. They loaded it as an elf. No, Pwn Tools is nice. You can do all this stuff with it, yeah.
I've just never really used Pwn Tools. Over here on Straw Hat, we're looking at ROP gadgets.
Oh, so they're both building chains right now. One of them looking manually and one of them using Pwn Tools building.
We got a pop RDI gadget. It looks like a pop RDI ret. So just straight up grepping for gadgets. This is basically manual versus the machine at this point.
Well, Orgakraut now doing system on BSS.
Okay.
And then time not sleep, and then they're sending binsh, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see if that drops us in.
No. They forgot the null byte at the end of binsh.
Do you need to manually specify that?
Yeah. Nuntap has no... Oh, they put it too early. They loaded libc later, I guess.
Oh.
Or they type out the libc name.
There's just a
libc.
Weird line.
You just need to elf libc, so...
Oh, this is tough. See, this is where manual sometimes can get ahead. I think manual should always be slower in this case, but in the off chance that Pwn Tools doesn't work out of the box or has some error, you might end up fighting Pwn Tools more than you would have to fight just making the ROP gadget.
There's no usage overhead with using your eyes.
Right.
Pwn Tools, you need to go look up doc. Well, not docs on man7.org, of course.
Right.
But you need to go look up docs. You need to figure out how it works. You need to debug anything that went wrong. Figure out the return code is. This, you're just like, my gadget's right here.
Yeah. This is going to be pretty tight, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, over on Orgakraut, we just got the error, cannot send a migrated chain, which is one of those usage overhead things.
Right.
Because I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
They slid it around in memory, and now it's bad. Wait a minute.
Is that a shell?
That might be a shell. He just needs to click left. No, don't Control-C it.
Or is he just going straight live
right
away? Does he just know? Is he going live?
No, I think he went live.
Live?
Cannot append to a migrated chain. Still no idea what that means.
Yeah. Why did it work like sometimes and sometimes it doesn't?
I don't know. Oh, he forgot .strip, I guess. Nope, cannot append to a migrated chain.
Huh. Yep, and this is where it's really dangerous.
Close. He's scratching his head. Over on Straw Hat.
Yep, all the gadgets. So all the gadgets is literally everything you want. It is your pop RDI, your pop RSP, your pop RBP. So it is literally all the gadgets. I now see what that function is. So since the ROP chain is going to be so simple here, it might be best to just straight up go for the manual chain, because this is the risk of Pwn Tools. This is why I'm always scared of this. When stuff breaks, it's just, you're in a really tough spot.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, still having that error over there. But here we're just making progress. We're making constant progress. And I'm sure Pwn Tools will just automatically work once it's figured out. But
I guess.
Did he just delete like all that code or just move it around?
I think he deleted it.
Huh. And then let's see. We got a pop RDI, puts main, quit. Let's see.
Gosh. Is this really
receive
gonna come
N?
down
Yeah.
to a ROP race?
Yeah. This is definitely a ROP race.
Oh, stop using Pwn Tools ROP. It's fine if you like really know how to use it, but it looks like he's a
Left
little
justify.
unfamiliar with it.
Receive and left justify. This is some advanced Python right here.
Well, he wants to load it, make sure it's 8 bytes exactly.
Yeah.
So he's just left justify with probably null bytes.
Yep, that's exactly what he's doing.
U64, you have a clean load into Python in.
Yeah. And we're doing an NM over here on libc. It looks like we're trying to get some addresses out of libc. Okay.
And we've been told it's a minute to sudden death.
A minute to sudden death.
A minute.
They better start ropping like they've never ropped before.
They have to rop their butts off.
That's going to be really tough. I don't think these are 60 seconds away unless Pwn Tools automatically starts working.
I don't know if he can append to a migrated chain.
God. Oh, it's really close.
Oh, it's so close. I feel so bad.
Ropping live is so difficult. You're just like...
Oh, gosh.
You have to keep all of this stack space in your head. You have to know where you're stashing all your stuff. And
I can
it's
barely
just
pop lock, and now they want me to rop it?
Yeah, exactly.
How?
Nice. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Straw Hat's kind of paused here. Are they both?
They're both stopped in their tracks. I think Jordan just went and told them that we're going to sudden death.
I see. Okay. Whew.
No way.
Now, sudden death, as it was last year, and I think as I was told this year, sounds like it's a really easy challenge.
Bare gets, format string bugs. What commands do you want me to run, basically?
Now, those are probably one of the hardest for me because I don't think I've ever done like easy challenges, so I don't know. Like, I don't think I've ever done a printf bug before.
Really?
No, I don't think it's ever come up.
Straight into kernel?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I've never seen them in real life.
I've just been signaled something in semaphore.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know how to read that, but I think...
Oh, is there a third hint that got put? No. What?
What's going on? All the terminals are closing.
What?